Washington, D.C. Council lawmakers this past Wednesday, have passed a bill into law requiring that all large retail businesses in the D.C. area that make more than $1 billion in sales and that have stores that are 75,000 square feet or larger have to pay their workers a minimum of $12.50 an hour, specifically 50 cents more than the state minimum wage, which is $8.50. $1.25 more than the federal minimum wage. Walmart threatened to halt and cancel production of 3 planned stores in the D.C. area if the bill passed, but the bill passed anyway, luckily. And Walmart's still throwing a fit and still saying that they refuse to build stores in the D.C. area.
Good.
And even though Walmart in their last fiscal year made $17 billion just in profit from a total of $470 billion in sales. And that's according to the numbers from their most recent fiscal year, and yet they pay their workers 28% less on average than their competitors, including Kmart, Target, and of course Costco, which has a very strong reputation now for paying their workers very well. Walmart spokesman Stephen Restivo said that they will have to, quote, review the financial and legal implications of not opening 3 stores they already had under construction. And they have completely canceled plans for 3 other stores that they had not yet begun construction on. So they were planning on 6 stores total in the entire D.C. area, but now they want to cancel all of them because of this new living wage law. Even though, this is an interesting thing to note, that Walmart originally stated to the Washington, D.C. Chamber of Commerce that they were planning on paying their workers a living wage of $12.50 anyway.
Why are they throwing such a fit?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they really would have done that anyway.
Well, this is the way that I see this. Hold on here. The way that I see this is already, this is win-win. Okay?
Yeah.
Because whenever Walmart comes into an area, it destroys the local economy.
Right. Well, I was going to get to that. Well, Walmart has gone to great efforts to smooth the grounds for their arrival to the D.C. area, and their tactic so far has been to avoid political conflicts because D.C. is considered such a liberal area. So before any solid plans were made, Walmart already joined the D.C. Chamber of Commerce and began making inroads with politicians and community groups and local charities.
Inroads means we're paying off politicians, by the way. We're buying.
Right. They were basically campaigning and paying off politicians and trying to smooth the way, you know, including keeping a prominent local lobbyist, David Wilmot, on a $10,000 a month retainer, just so to keep him on in order to smooth relations over with elected officials. Walmart claims that they would have brought in jobs and spurred economic growth, but reality begs to differ. An economist named Joseph Persky of the University of Illinois in Chicago conducted a study that went for a few years. It was a multiple-year study analyzing the effects of Walmart when they came into Chicago in 2006. And his study found that businesses immediately surrounding the newly built Walmart stood a 40% chance of closing within 2 years of the store opening. The chance of closure decreased the further away businesses got from Walmart. The author of the study also states that these are conservative numbers, as it cannot possibly take into account how many businesses could not or failed to open because of Walmart. Another study from Florida, however, has shown a link between Walmart and suppressed job growth. The Chicago study concludes that nearly 300 jobs were lost resulting from Walmart opening, and while Walmart created just over 300 full-time jobs, most of those jobs were lower-paying jobs, and were mostly sales associate jobs, and that there is no evidence that Walmart stimulates economic growth at all. So,
you know what
there
Walmart
you
does
have it.
stimulate? You know what Walmart stimulates? Welfare spending.
Yes, it does. And that's what would have really happened if Walmart had come to the D.C. area. They would have had a lot more people, I bet, signing up for welfare and welfare services, because they would have killed better paying jobs in lieu of these crappy, low-paying jobs that no one can afford to live off of without taking financial assistance.
That is why Walmart is the biggest welfare queen we have in America. Well, one of. I honestly can't say who's the biggest welfare queen anymore, because they're all sucking off the teat of the government through those social services, because they will not pay a living wage, so they can pocket it all.
Right, and
so much for living up to Sam Walton's ideals.
They can pocket it, and they can pocket it doubly, because they're not paying their workers a living wage, so they're saving money by not paying their workers enough, and then their workers have to get food stamps, and then the workers buy food with their food stamps at Walmart. So Walmart is getting paid and paid and paid and paid for
and of course
not
they
paying
use their
their
profit
employees.
And the middle class
lower their tax rates. They use a lot of their profit to lower their tax rates.
I said the middle class ends up picking the tab.
It does, absolutely.
I mean, they subsidize these people to not only get on food stamps, but to apply for Medicaid.
No, it's a subsidy. It's actually a subsidy that goes right to Walmart.
Yeah.
From the taxpayer.
You
don't think you're subsidizing Walmart when you pay for, when your taxes go to food stamps, but you are.
Yeah, it's like the old mining corporations where they used to pay their employees in their own currency. The money just kept coming back to the mining stores.
So they come back right to the company store.
So I think that Washington, D.C. actually dodged a bullet by passing this legislation. They prevented a lot of negative effects that would have occurred if they had allowed. Well, they are allowing, but if Walmart had decided to build in that district.
There's no free lunch, but all 51 states should pass it.
But the thing is, Walmart's probably not going to cancel all of the stores they were planning to build, because they've already put in approximately $1 million at each of the 3 sites they already started construction on.
That's nothing.
Right, that's true. But if they're petty enough, well, they might not build. But I think they're probably going to end up building the 3 that were originally under construction. But they said they haven't decided on that yet. But 3 Walmarts destroying the economy is enough.
They have to fuck up the community somehow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Walmart, I think, still, even they will realize, no matter how petty or greedy they are, that having a Walmart there and paying their workers a decent wage still gets them an enormous shit ton of money from people who are buying their cheaply made products.
And not only that, but
I think that they would think it might set a bad trend. I think they might be.
You're right, though. You're right. That's actually a really good point. They fear doing it in the first place, because if they do it in one place, then that's
people are going to want
example.
It, right.
Yeah, if you can do it there, why can't you do it everywhere else? And that's really good. Well, they have Walmarts in Canada too, and they have to pay their workers living wages, and they still make an enormous amount of money. Yep, and they still find it worth their time and effort to be there and have business there.
Now, do you remember that study that we covered probably a couple of weeks ago that said that of course they can pay their workers a fair living wage. They can pay their workers $12.50, and even if they pass all the costs on to the consumer, it will cost the average consumer 1.1%.
Right. Yeah.
Something like $12 if you spend $12,000. If you spend like $12,000 a year shopping at Walmart, it will cost you about $12.50.
Right.
Ironically, it's about how much the minimum wage is for 1 hour per person.
Right. A lot of people don't understand that, yes, sometimes certain goods do go up when you start paying people more, but it's minuscule compared to the amount that
it's a lot less than
that you start paying people. Yes, it's just pennies, for each item,
joke.
if that. Yeah.
and I hear the argument that it's going to, well, it's going to impact the poor because they're going to hire less people, and that's bullshit.
Well, and this
Because
law mitigates it because right there it mitigates it in Washington, D.C. It's a very good agreeable law because it says only big businesses that are, this big or bigger have to pay, so much.
and another argument I hear is that it's going to, well, Walmart's going to cut back on its employees' hours. Yeah, but then how are you going to get effective service?
Right,
how are you going to get the job done?
To keep up with demand. Yeah, that's the argument I give all the time.
They're already trying to eliminate the worker with the self-checkouts.
Well, of course they are. And don't use the self-checkout. Problem solved.